To be fair. Four and three and two and one. We're ready to go.
Okay.
We got things. I just realized I need to put the frames around your big stupid faces.
Are we live while you call me and tell me I have a big stupid face? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, mostly the big stupid faces
are
the
first time you've heard that, TJ?
No, and it's probably not going to be the last either.
I mean, you're not wrong. So, all of the goodness, all of the times. How is life, gentlemen?
Great. Superb.
Fantastic.
It's so good because my faction almost won an event.
Indeed, it did.
We're not going to talk about what event or the people that were there for that event or any of that stuff, but only results matter. Second place, okay?
Boom. Click, click, boom. Calling you guys a little bit earlier next week so I can trim up the things, put a video in that Tom tried to get me to put in as the intro. He's like, hey, man, you know that video that you got your hands on 8 nanoseconds ago? Have you already put it in there? And I'm like, no. It's like, you should do it now. I'm like,
right now.
I'm live, man.
You could have just stopped everything, started everything. It was fine.
But besides,
you could have even you should have put a window up of you just watching it yourself. Then we could have reacted to it. It would have been great.
I'll do that right now. I actually have done that before because when we got the Space Marines 2 trailer, I just watched it while I was on Twitch. I'm just like, let's do some stuff. But you know what I want to talk about? And it's near and dear to my heart. Team tournaments.
Okay. I was going to say alcohol, but that's fine too.
That's not as near and dear. That's just powers me. Sometimes when you're falling apart, you need to have some alcohol.
I agree.
You need to power through. What I need to not do is try to keep up with people that I cannot keep up with and I end up in dumpsters somewhere all over the place. I'm talking about you, Brian.
Doing it to boys in a few weeks.
Exactly. I have to keep wandering, asking other people what happened. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, guys. But
how's everybody doing on this fine Halloween?
It would have been better except for the fact that I just found out right now that Eloise wasn't coming this weekend.
That's a fucking crime.
That is a crime.
Is there something going on this weekend?
I hope so. I hope so for you because I really hope you show up for it. I mean, we already had 40% of our team just not roll in, so it's going to be tougher.
Like a week before, it's like, actually, you know what? I don't think I'll show up. I'm like, all right.
Well, the funniest thing is I knew that was happening. He said that. I was like, so you're doing major renovations and you have to be out of your house and the other house has to be done. And you're like, I'm going to travel to a team tournament out of town. Ask your wife and see how that goes for you. I think it's going to go swimmingly. I have.
Did it though? I don't think it did.
It did not. She weirdly enough immediately line item vetoed that and was like, yeah, no. So wasn't shocked.
Okay.
This is my unsurprised face.
So for those who don't know, the DOG Teams Tournament is happening this weekend in Ohio. And we have 16 teams signed up for it. And it is going to be a blast of an event. Unfortunately, I can't be there because I'm running my local stuff here in Syracuse.
Either can I, because I don't know.
You know what? It doesn't matter. We're just going to have some dude that we're going to put a name tag on that says TJ.
I mean, he probably won't play that bad because usually we're just used to TJ being in that spot anyway. Easily replaced.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be better. It could be the Necron guy. You just rando Necron guy number 5.
Rando Necron guy number 5 just slaps.
Yeah. like the 0 hour, you come to an event, somebody gets like food poisoning or something the night before, and you're like, I need guy. You look across the hall, you see no one available. There's a 12-year-old kid who's never played 40K before, and a janitor
Probably
who
just
says
as good as you.
40K, and then
Probably
you go,
just
that guy. He said the words, I'm gonna have this janitor play 40K.
You know what? The message got retracted, but I saw it, so I'm saying it. Lucas goes, it's Flamers. How hard could it be?
It's true. I flamer things. How hard could it be?
Move, advance, flame. Burp, burp, derp.
Sometimes I don't eat. Sometimes I
Let's
just
talk. Let's talk meta first, boys. Let's get a little
Let's
bit.
talk team
Go ahead.
tournament meta. I mean, we could. I guess we could talk about Kansas City also, but that wasn't a team event, so I'm not excited about that event.
We're gonna probably talk about it just because. Yeah.
Fine, if you guys are gonna be like
All right.
that.
Well, what do you want to talk about in the team meta?
Oh, we're back into teams. I'm back to excited.
Yeah.
I like team meta because of the fact that we have a pretty decent meta right now. As much as we like to jump all over GW right now, this is the best we've had in a long time. So the better part about that is team fixes all metas because you only have one of anything in your team. For instance, we're playing a 5-man team event this weekend, which means that if any one list is jacked, you can only see it one time and you can throw it into defensive things, because in teams, you don't have to win every game. You just have to score more points total, everybody together. So if Tom's playing the best list in the game and it's crushing, and Brian's playing a super defensive list, he doesn't have to win the game. He just has to limit the points that Tom's going to get on that. And I love that way, because in a team event, you can literally be the MVP and never win a game if you take the worst matchup every time and get points where you shouldn't be getting points. And in a singles event, you want to run out and think about playing AOS or something, because you're just like, I want no games. But in team, you're literally one of the key parts of that. And that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's great because I normally don't score points, and now I at least say, hey, I scored a point, and then no one's upset at me. It's great.
So,
It's really good.
Let me ask you a question, Brad.
Yeah.
You're building a team, right? What's the 5 armies you want on that team? Do you? And then second part of the question is, do you build a team around the 5 armies you want, and you find the best players to pilot them, or do you try to pick up the best players you can and find their strengths?
Well,
I normally am a big fan of find the best player for your team and build armies to their strengths, because they're going to play something they enjoy playing and something that's in their wheelhouse much better than, hey, this Necron army is like the strongest Necron army you can play. Oh, you've only played Necrons like 3 times here. You can pilot it. It's not a problem. No, you need the reps. You need the time. You need to enjoy what you're doing. That'd be like if we were playing in a teams event and I had you on my team and I gave somebody else Tau. That'd be stupid.
Ooh.
It would be
Fighting words there.
Oh no, they'll probably play better than me.
Fighting words.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay, but guard's my strength.
Oh,
no
God.
need
Shut your face.
Play my guard army.
You're hurting my
Please
soul.
Stop! I can't.
So,
The funny thing is, Brian, you don't know this. I begged my team let me take guard at Las Vegas teams, and they didn't let me.
we put him in the dumpster on that one. We're
Thank
like, yeah,
God.
Tom, we'll probably go ahead and just have you on, the army you've just been crushing everybody with, as opposed to your
exactly.
experimental list for the current one of the lowest winning factions in the game. You're like, we're going to stay with the
Listen.
option A.
I
Not
even
as
made
low as
them a
Admech.
deal.
But
If
I
I
mean,
drop
in
more than
honesty,
one
I
game.
think everything you should always play towards your player's strengths. And sometimes there are players who are adamant about, this army is a strength and can do this. You have to also know if their army can do X. Like if somebody's like, my orcs are absolutely amazing and can do X, Y, and Z versus this army. And you're like, no, everything says that's a bad matchup. We need to not put you into that. So it's just one of the things of you have to play to the player's strengths, but you also have to know the limitations of the army and the player.
So there's 2 different ways. I'm going to go back to that. The player, we were talking about how you put together a team, because it's going to be different for Team USA versus going to be different for a 5-man team, because you're looking at a lot of times you're looking at 5 people you can get. And also there's a difference in, Brian said, made a big thing on it. It was 100% right. I'd rather have somebody slightly off what you think is the 100 rank, 100 power list, and have somebody that's an expert on it. TJ falls into that right now, where no matter where Chaos is right now, he's a Chaos expert. So I'm not going to go, hey, you should play like some random crap that's currently good. Actually, we should make you play Necrons. You are the new Necron guy.
God damn it. Make one joke about Necrons, and then I get stuck playing Necrons.
But I'm saying it's a big thing. There's a lot to be said for having player skill and then the army. You know what I mean? You don't want to you don't want to put people on shit.
Real quick. Gotta interrupt you. You brought up Team USA, so are you trying to tell us something here?
I am officially the captain. I'm the captain now.
Brad, I've always said that you're a very handsome person. You know, you're the best guy, man. You're just fantastic.
Every tournament, I'm going to see Brad come out of the bathroom with TJ right behind him out of the stall.
You know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
TJ, you got a little bit right here, man. You got a little bit right here.
The funniest thing,
America.
Yeah, I made my first vote today. So,
was it Swiss cheese?
No, it was not. It was random stuff about when we're going.
Was it what kind of wine is?
No, that is that's no vote. That is a Brad dictatorship. I made sure they had wine specifically and bottle prices.
So what you're saying is we have to try and get a winery to sponsor Team USA?
100%. I will be getting everyone. I will look like Ricky Bobby when I go to Europe next time because I will have so many sponsorship things all over me, glasses with stuff on it. Man, it's sure hard to see out of this.
You going to be a coach or are you going to be a player coach?
I'm not playing captain. I thought I saw some of the other teams in having non-player coaches or captains, and you can manage the tournament a lot better. I also have shit health, so like it puts a huge strain on me to try to do both. And I can do it. I can be very impartial if I'm not playing also. So in pairings and everything that goes about it. So that's what I want to do. It also opens it up for me to have more players, maybe new players. I don't want a ton of new players. You have to limit the amount of new. You want a little bit of new every year because it's so much different than anything else that we're used to because of the way that people play over there.
Oh yeah. You learn a lot when you go.
All DOG events should move to differential. Brandon Valley with the hot take.
You know what? Actually, real quick, while we're talking about DOG events, there was a change proposed in one of our chats, and I think we're going to adapt to it. And I think we hit it a little bit in this last week's chat as well. Give me one thing, just post something in my work chat real quick. Sorry.
Dude,
but
Lionel just went salty on the chat, too. Hey, sometimes just getting 5 guys who are free for your event works out, even when the team thinks you're just the leftover sloppy seconds. I feel he's talking a little bit of shit from ATC, Tom.
Ooh. I mean, I wasn't at ATC, so I don't
wasn't at ATC.
I'm pretty sure you were there.
Jamis was there.
Jamis Togden was there.
I heard he died there, so I can't comment what happened to ATC.
I don't know. I just heard there was a cow at ATC. That's all.
Hey, we don't talk about the cow, all right?
Oh, we talk about the cow because the team going this weekend to the team tournament is the Moo Crew that is showing up.
Scions of Moo.
And they have my favorite jerseys of all time now. They're fantastic.
So, but anyways, we're talking about the change of DOG events. And what I like about this, we talked about it in chat a little bit. We talked about it in some other Discords. I think the future for next season in DOG, which takes place after LVO, basically, technically we have MCM, so MCM is technically the end of the season. But I think we're going to push away from giving prizes to the top places, and just giving trophies, some badass trophies, but finding ways to distribute prizes randomly throughout the player base. For one, it keeps players attending the award ceremony more if we award it afterwards. It's kind of cool. And two, it allows those who are new to the hobby and those still not in the running to still get things to walk away. I think it is. I had a lot of people talking about this. I think it's a bad feeling if somebody they watch somebody get the cool trophy, get the recognition, and all the prizes. So we might give some prizes still to the winners, but I think we're gonna start going towards trying to spread the wealth.
Yeah, I think a good more geared towards trophies with still some prizes because you want to make those other people quasi happy. Like, hey, you guys still got something, you know?
I'm still going on the jerseys for the Omu crew.
Did they actually get jerseys for it?
Yes, they're cow jerseys. They literally, Eloise is Dairy Queen. I know that Corey is Legend Dairy. What, Lyle, what was yours? We played yesterday at Sticks. I can't remember what they told me what they all were. And of course, my feeble memory went immediately away. Yes, Lyle is Cow Yun for his towel.
Okay, I like this. I'm liking this a lot. I still think we should have taken that painting from the lodge. I mean, not that I've seen it. I've seen pictures of it in chat. So I obviously wasn't
from Jamas. So
no, actually, yeah. At his funeral, they were showing me pictures.
At his funeral, they were showing me pictures. But to circle back on the team tournament thing and why I'm such a huge fan of it. And if you haven't been to a team tournament, just go to any team event on that, because it's such a different style of play, because you're playing for a group of other people. So, and it makes it so the games aren't just over too, because obviously we can talk about differential in a bit, but like you play differential in the team format and every point counts. So you have to get X amount of points to win the game total. So it makes you play all five turns out, which I love, because you grind those out, because 1 or 2 points can make a difference. It is a big deal in the game. You know what I mean? The round could come down to just a few points, and it has a ton of times.
Yes. I mean, our round 5 was very, very close, you know?
My favorite thing of the team tournament format, for one, you get to interact with your team a lot more, but 2, it's the different lists you see. So when I go to a singles event, once I break like top bracket or top tables, like round 4 and later, it's like the same 3 lists I'm constantly playing against. Except in a team event, you never know what you're going to get, ever.
Yeah, it's like a box of chocolates. You know?
And one of my favorite team events was actually playing against TJ's team right before the pandemic actually hit, where they were like, oh, well, Brian's playing Tyranids, and we're just going to throw him into the Eldar player.
Oh,
really strong. They were like, Eldar players got this. It's all over. TJ comes over to the table and he looks at the Eldar player and goes, what happened? And he goes, he knows how to play his army really, really well. Yeah. And I am losing.
That was one of my most difficult GT tournaments I've ever played in, because no one practiced / listened. So we were just like, oh, like I don't know, I drove 10 hours in one day to go to sleep that night and then immediately play the next morning. And then my team was like, what if we just didn't actually practice? And then Devin took some weird, like, he was like, I'm super cool. I'm cooler than Siegler. I promise you this. I was like, okay. He's like, I know, Tao. I know what's up. I'm not going to take riptides. I'm going to take broadsides. And then proceeded to go 0-3 on day 1.
Well, I have a question. I've been trying to get this answered. I've been trying to get this answered for a while, and someone keeps dodging it.
Shut up.
So, in a team format, Tao has this army that they struggle heavily against. And God. I've been trying to learn it as a Tao player. I need TJ to please teach this to me. How does Tao play against its Apex Predator orcs? Like, how do we have a shot against orcs?
Please, man. Please.
Can you explain?
I don't play orcs. I don't know how to play orcs.
I just played orcs.
Against orcs. Yeah, you just play orcs. You probably know better than I do.
So how does Tao even have any shot in that match?
No chance.
No chance.
That's what I thought. That's why I try to explain this to TJ anymore.
You can get like 1 or 2 points, maybe. That's if he has mercy on.
So.
He has mercy on your soul.
It's 20-0 guaranteed orcs favor every game.
22. He takes 2 points from one of the other games.
That's a good point. It does. All right, real quick though, let's get into Kansas City. Before we're too known to get into nonsense. Let's have some kind of semblance for
Look, man, if you're gonna have me, you got to be prepared. Somebody's got to wrangle me at all times.
I mean, the same. So I'm drinking alcohol on the show, so who cares? So Kansas City, what is your guys' thoughts on Kansas City?
It was a weird field.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by the lack of known names at the event.
There were some heavy hitters there, though.
Which was
There
was a couple, but like it's
It wasn't
contrasted.
Murderers Row.
Yeah, it was contrasted by the Chicago's. Just holy crap, everybody was crushing there.
Yeah, also like no Tau, like almost no like no Tau. Like Gagno was there, but he lost the game, which was unfortunate, but he did
Gagno's
it.
top 3 name and now easily.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the thing is that he played Demons and he played Demons with Demons versus Triptide,
Yeah. Ooh,
Yep.
and that is not
that's rough.
that is
Bro,
rough.
I've been trying to tell a certain person in DOG that's why Riptides. There's some bad matchups. He won't listen to me.
I mean, the Army's very strong. He's got a lot of play, but you got matches like the Demon match where all of a sudden big boys just start Voltroning Riptides in half, and you're just like, oh,
yeah.
that
I mean, but
could have been better.
Looking at the field, though, you have Manny Chima, flew across the pond, so top 3 player in the world right now. John Lennon, Sean Rice, one of our DOG guys, did really well. Took 5th place, so good showing from him.
Yeah.
Sean Naden.
The
so
Orc
Sean
King.
Naden came out of his hole to play. That's kind of nice.
He's
Brett
playing Orcs now too. I
Urbanowski,
mean,
yeah.
he
Brett
went.
Urbanowski, top guard player, was there. Showing everyone that guard can be good, and no one listens to me. Andrew Gagno.
But Brett's like that's all he plays. Brett's hardcore on guard.
Yeah, Brett is the guard.
Also, I'm pretty sure Brett wins at least one game by people just going, I was going to beat that guy, but I didn't want to get murdered because he's 11 feet tall. Like, he's a very nice man, but he does look scary.
Daniel Sansone and his crew out there, too. That's a good, solid group of guys.
Kyle, I'll send
I
you,
think-
Kyle, I will
I
send
think
you
that's
some
where
stuff.
it tapers off, though, right? I mean, that's where it kind of ends. There's really no
Yep.
one like crazy after that.
No, that's still like, what, 6, 7, 8? Colin
Sure.
McDade was there.
Anyway, so like 7.
And
It's like 6, 7 people.
I can't even say that guy. Ben Sherwin.
Yeah, Ben Sherwin. Yeah. He
Yeah,
was
how
playing
did Ben Sherwin
CSM, right?
Yeah, but how did he go 1?
There was a ton, if you look at the what everything that was brought, it was so crazily melee centric in that
Yeah.
when it was
Yeah.
brought to
Oh,
KSM.
wait, why did I skip this event?
It was like everyone went, we're just going to punch each other, right? Let's just get in the phone booth and make it happen.
But I think the Games Workshop terrain lends to that quite a bit, and a lot of people have been seeing that happen. So it was an inevitability that the meta was going to go that way for their events.
Yep. Eventually,
It's big on that, but you have to make it out of day one, and the beginning of day two can be a nightmare on that, just because you're playing the Dawn of War set.
Yep.
And that is actually pretty favorable for the shooty armies because of the fact that all of those missions are just flat across. None of the objectives are covered. I think Conviction has one covered, possibly two, depending on how they set it up, because the GW terrain gets set up slightly different on each table. So you could have just only one of your objectives, period, covered. And then you could just get blasted and you could have a great match the rest of the tournament. But
yeah, I mean, it's
More importantly, go ahead.
definitely an interesting event. I mean, I definitely the results definitely obviously speak for themselves. How unpredictable, different formats and people who aren't used to different formats can be. So,
My thing is this, though. Do we owe everyone an apology because we pretty much said last week Marines can't really win it right now, and they turn around and they win one of the biggest events of the year.
okay,
So
let's
there's
just.
a difference
I'm just-
between Blood Angels.
I was gonna say, let's just get that fucking out of the way. They're definitely not Space Marines.
So the supplemental codex.
It's a supplemental Space Marine Codex. They are Space Marines.
They are
No.
Space Marines, but the supplemental codexes are considerably different from just main book.
yeah,
You're talking about
That's like saying that Chaos
Double
Space Marines can't win
strats.
anything, and then T-Suns win an event. Like they're not the same. They play almost.
No, Thousand Suns is its own codex, not even a supplement. It's
Blood
own
Angels
fucking
are significant. Flying Terminators that can heroic into you at +1 to wound is significantly different than Imperial Fists.
Who said that?
I indeed said that.
Who's that mad lad? I thought someone in the chat might have said it. I thought someone in the chat.
I was too busy having Eloise say that she doesn't play well with others because she said she didn't like Adepticon teams because she basically doesn't want anybody else in her decisions. She needed someone to sit in a chair next to her and roll dice.
But I'm just saying there was some heavy hitters there. Like Ben Sherwin, I don't know how he went. I just realized he went 1-3 apparently, or 1-2 and dropped. But he took second place at Chicago, which was just full of top names. Like Chicago, that was very enjoyable. There was just, you couldn't look left or right and didn't see a top name players somewhere in that area.
The thing is when you put a bunch of melee armies out there and you've got decent players, anybody can. It's still a dice game, you know what I mean? And especially if you brought an army that lives and dies on melee, you're just going to have some games where you bounce off some stuff, you know what I mean? So there's going to be that game where you're going to lose. Everybody loses the game, man. It just happens. So, and you have more chances when you bring those armies that do only damage in melee, because of the fact that you're going to get into some matches that are just really difficult and or can be very coin flippy and swingy with that. Even if you're being a great general with it, you just have to put yourself at risk to do that. And those armies do work, obviously. That's why the meta's jam full of them, you know what I mean? And it's winning tournaments. But you do have the risk of somebody else bring their tooled up melee army, and sometimes you hit each other and it's going to be dice.
Or it's a mission, right? Like certain missions don't really play well with your particular army, but they play well with other armies, right? Like Blood Angels have better jobs at missions that are spread out because of their speed, where Warriors have better missions, Tyranids have better missions when the terrain is something that is, hey, there's an objective in the middle of the table, so I get to consolidate my entire army into the middle of the table. This is going to go great for me.
Oh, it's a big deal on that.
I just agree. I agree with Focini. He's in our chat right now.
Oh, dude.
Probably Europe's best tile player. And
I love it. I just love hashtag just shoot, bro.
Just shoot, bro. Just shoot, bro.
Yeah. So, it's big on that, because there's, in the end, you still have to score points. And that's another reason why Blood Angels are up there, because they have 2 secondaries that you can just 15, especially a GW terrain with those setups. You play 3 Units of Death Company and Lamardes, you're just getting a 15 on Fury and probably on Relentless Assault, unless the game just completely flips on you.
Challenge accepted. Put them against me, baby boy. I got this.
It sounds like you can't score secondaries if you don't have models.
Do when you're dead. Can't do when you're dead.
You know what I will get? I'll get at least 1 per those guys, because you get 1 point for every time a Death Company dies.
That's fine. You're going to get 3 points. Enjoy it.
Like, even with a pregame move, Tom's like, I don't care. I'm going first twice. I'm doing it like AOS style. I'm taking a double turn against your army.
100%. I just need 1 turn. Just 1 turn going first.
Love everything about that. But there's a lot of
Blood Angel surprised us, taking one of the biggest tournaments of the year. I'm actually pretty happy with that.
Dude, coming in with
nice
mad quotes. I love this. The mission is temporary. Tabling is forever.
I mean, have you ever heard someone speak more to my heart than he did right now? Like, never.
He's a prophet. He's a prophet.
I'm pretty sure he's the skinny version of me in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like, somewhere we were molded together and separated, and it took 40K to bring us back together.
I love everything about this. Sorry, guys. I got completely the other Tom.
Yeah.
The other Tom.
The funny thing is, me and him discussed our list ideologies last week, and we found a way to merge our strengths together.
Forming
And we have a new
Voltron?
list. Oh no, our new list is took some of his strengths, some of my strengths. Beautiful.
And took them all out of the list.
So, sorry. Back
He
to
spent
you,
an
Brian.
hour and all the list disappeared. He was like, "Oh shit."
So, back to the teams side of things, because we clearly got off track there.
What?
That would be
That's what we do. We get off
that would
track.
be giving that one of the things they're saying about being comfortable with lists. Giving Tom a defensive list would be possibly the
God.
worst idea you could ever.
Can't even
have.
imagine. And me playing without shenanigans.
TJ playing
Me on
without
defensive list is like asking me to lose the game. Like, Tom, how did you lose this? It was like guaranteed 20-0. Well, I moved my stuff to the middle to try to hold the middle. What the fuck you mean you moved to the middle? That's what I do. I moved to the middle, and then he killed me. I didn't expect that. I thought I was the right play. We literally told you for 3 minutes as a child, just hide behind the ruins and score points. Yeah, I didn't listen to any of that. I went out of the ruins trying to charge him on 12-inch charges, and I failed everyone.
That reminds me of one of my favorites. I was playing Osterwingfield. Speaking of boys down south, and we're playing at Nova, and we're sitting there, and he's looking at the table and the mission, and he gets to roll first, and he looks at the board and goes, "Well, I think if I just sit on these objectives, like you can't really take them from me, I can eke out a win probably." And he goes, "Or I can YOLO swag everything in my army at you immediately." I was like, I had no doubts.
Reminds me of like Brad was playing Drukhari. He had that nasty ass Drukhari heyday. Wrecked my Dark Angel Terminator list. I was like, I played it one time. I was like, yeah, these guys are going to shelf. Never gonna play these guys.
Yeah, the Terminator's gonna eject it out of your army instantly.
That's how bad he just fucked me. So I was like, yep, not playing Terminators anymore. So I came up with my Ravenwing list before anyone knew what it was, and I played against Brad, and Brad's
you sprung it on me too. So Tom and I play a TTS game, and I've been drinking a little bit. Big shock.
What?
Yeah, but Tom goes, I got to show you my new list. And we're like in the middle of the game, and I feel like a whirlwind of beats are being put on me. And Tom's just crushing me. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. Like he's like explaining rules to me as we go. Do you know what I found you could do? Pew, pew, pew. I'm like just getting killed everywhere. I'm like, well, I'm glad we're doing this now because this won't happen in a tournament. Also, 0 people were playing that at the time.
Yeah, it was my precursor to my Tau list. Like it was exactly like how I played Tau. It's like it's gonna take the middle of the board, it's gonna shoot a whole bunch of shit and just table you. But the best part, I was like, Brad's like, but our first game's like, I don't really know if you want to come out from those ruins because like get a couple of shots on me. If they whiff, I'll just come back and flame you. And I was like, nah, man, I could probably win this game where we're set up if I hold these objectives. It's like a really good chance. But then Tony, like a 60 to 65 win. That sounds really fucking boring. So instead, I'm just going to YOLO at you and just think dice is going to go well.
He's just like, I'm very confident that you're going to roll bad and I'm going to roll well.
Yeah.
Like good.
So putting me a defensive army would be horrible.
Well, speaking of that, let's talk about what we're bringing this weekend, guys, and why.
Okay. Yeah, let's get on the tracks, like somewhere in the ballpark of a train station.
Well, I want to talk about teams because I love team. I'll always talk about team, and I'k just talk. But I mean, I also
that's
like talking
fine.
about teams.
I mean, we're good to talk about teams. Well, let's.
I'll start it because I want to comment on this comment.
Also, do you really win if you don't 20-0 your opponent?
You don't win. Cheney, that you're 100% correct. Did you win? You could be 19-1, but you really didn't win because you gave him enough points to get that 1 point.
Yeah, that guy had points.
That's
something you want to do.
So I'm running Tau, shocker. It's the only army I've ran all season. Running our new list, which is Tau Sept.
Chickens.
I convinced Cheney to leave Far Sept behind because even though fluff-wise, Tau Sept's the counter-puncher and Farsight's the aggressive one, on the actual table rules, Tau Sept's far more aggressive. It seems weird because you're like, well, you need to get really close for Farsight. Yeah, except that Tau Sept's damage potential just outweighs Farsight like nothing. So
Tom's just doing like LARPing right now where he's just got face makeup where he's trying to be Shadow Sun, but also basically sitting in front of the corn altar.
I'm like Shadow Sun, but I'm carrying was it the Dawn Blade?
Yeah,
that Farsight carries. It's like Shadow Sun with her infusion instead of the little missile pod. It's like Dawn Blade is like yeah.
Well, the Dawn Blade's also my favorite because he's literally carrying around a soul sucking blade that's keeping him alive, and just like no one's mentioning anything about it. Like, hey man, ever since you've had that sword, you've just really haven't aged. I wonder what if there's any connection. Nah, it's probably that wheatgrass shake I got in the morning. That's probably the thing keeping me alive for hundreds of years. I will definitely get little Tom in a Little Mermaid wig.
100% will. I mean, you guys did have me. I mean, not me because I wasn't there, but you did have Jamas walk around drunk. And the what's that chick's name from Frozen?
Elsa.
Walk around with Elsa mask.
That's true.
Completely hammered and stoned out his mind.
Dude, I love some of the stories from the tournaments we go to when you tell them back, they all sound like just ridiculous. There's no way that actually happened. And you're like, oh, yeah, we're actually toning that down just a little bit.
My favorite will always be Tom can't beat me.
And
I
fight
think I know what
Mama.
happened during that game too. It's weird. The next time they had to play, I'm pretty sure that some Toms were beat, some Toms were not beaten.
All of the good
For
things.
records here, just for all the marbles.
The
as it were.
next game we played after that was at Birdsongs, and
Oh god, that was a rough weekend.
I was dying.
Lyle's in the chat. Lyle, tell me how your Blood Angels did against those Thousand Suns.
He's literally had 14 comments up,
I
and
know.
you ignored all of them, and then you
Until
just
we
came
got to
in
the
later.
one I wanted, which was this one.
well, so we know I'm playing Tau. The funny thing is, real quick, is I'm bringing a Riptide in my list. Just I never would do in this edition, but I'm doing it.
You're bringing a Riptide?
Bringing a Riptide. Still running 2 bricks though. 2 bricks. I won't go below 2 bricks of Crisis Squads. But Mr. TJ, tell us what you're running.
Manny has inspired me. Really the best that Chaos has to offer to 40K. And he ran some demons with some Thousand Suns. And even though lists were due before the event happened over the weekend, I'm running the exact same list that he was running, except not. But demons and Thousand Suns, definitely.
Where's our Ogden?
It was so funny that he had to leave. He was like, God damn, TJ.
Couldn't hang it. I couldn't handle it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
So we've got Tau, we've got T-Suns and Demons and T-Suns, I guess, whatever. Zinch, Flamers and Terminators. How about that?
that's probably the better way to say it. Flamers
Yeah.
and Terminators.
Flamers and
So-
Terminators.
Manny Chima's list then, right?
Yeah, that's what I just
So
said.
Manny China's list.
I had to refill my drink. I was getting low.
All of the good stuff. But the big thing is that, and then, so we've got that. We've got a Necrons list with all of the scarabs, all of the stuff to take, just doing derpy Necron stuff, doing it the best way. Just hopefully oppressively taking so many points that your opponent's sad. And then we've got my list, which is Twilight Harlequins. And I'd like to say I really tooled this up myself, but I think
But you didn't.
but I think that I changed 3 weapons and a warlord trait, and Jack made the entire list for me. So I was just like,
Jack Harper's list.
Yeah,
Our
it
team
seems-
is
no,
so
it's-
unoriginal.
it's a
You got
different.
me, you got me
he's-
ripping off Puccini. He's my inspiration for Tau. We got TJ ripping off Manny Chima, probably the best player in the world, according to Fulcini.
I mean,
and
he's
then-
up there, right?
And then
for
Brad
top
ripping
for
off
IGC.
Jack Harpster, winner of Chicago Open.
No, he made a new one for me though. That isn't his list. This is a new revised list. And then I changed 2 weapons and 2 squads. So 4. I changed 4 things there. I mean, I'm an innovator. So
I completely copied Fulcini's list. Completely. The new list.
I did. I'm having Kramer send me some stuff because I thought Kramer was going to be at the tournament this weekend, but apparently he's not. So I currently have 1 Death Jester, and I'm not bringing a Death Jester. So I don't have any models right now.
That's probably not enough. You need more Death Jesters.
Yeah. Well, I make lists with Jack all the time. Jack's a fantastic list builder. He makes a lot of stuff. He's also got the same kind of mentality when we put lists together. So it's nice to do.
Fulcini brings up a great comment here. For something to be considered different, it has to be at least 5
5
options.
loadouts? No, I only got 4. So it's the
So
same
same
thing.
list.
Yeah.
Same list.
So, but I like the Twilight quite a bit, and I've been saying this for a while. I just like the +2, 2 and 2 pilot and consolidate is one of they have that obviously the extra attack, but man, just the movement of shaking and baking, because movement's so big in the game to be able to be places is gigantic. So being able to manipulate, that's a big deal. Stealing objectives, move blocking where you need to, getting in places where you want to be is super, super big. We should talk about our 5th list also.
Yes.
We
or a
have-
4th list. I mean,
No,
Yeah,
I talked about the Necrons.
So we had Frank bringing Necrons, single C-Tan MSU score Necrons.
No, it's
And
no
we
Satan.
have- What's up?
It's just bros.
Yeah.
All bros all the time.
Yep. And then we have our team captain, Mr. Matt Tarantino himself, bring in sisters, right?
Yep.
Definitely sisters. Oops, all sisters.
Oops, all sisters. Or as I was calling them yesterday when I did some pairings, I just put down whores. So, because when I think sisters, my sisters are slutty sisters. They'd all be dressed up like Dark Eldar as opposed to Power.
So, real quick though, before we get too far, because we're starting at the end, did we have any questions from our patrons, Brian?
I didn't get tagged in any when I put up
Good
my
stuff.
questions yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't get tagged in any either. So
Just make sure we didn't skip anything.
I'm pretty disappointed about that.
I'm very disappointed about that.
I don't know about you guys. I get tagged in shit all the time, so maybe you should be more active.
I'm more disappointed about Eloise not showing up to the tournament this weekend. But besides that,
I mean, everybody wants to hear about Tau. Nobody wants to hear about my demons or
Lyle,
T-
what
really
is
sad.
your question, Lyle?
let's go back. Assuming your team is the favorite, what 3 teams are you looking at as your challenges this weekend? I'm looking at DOG Team B2 part Pajama Jammy Jam. Like, I don't know.
Part 5, Omega.
Beat
Omega
Street
Dawn.
2, Electric Boogaloo. What? That's actually Breakin' 2. My bad, guys. I get my breakdance movies messed up sometimes. But
That's really messed up. You can't be doing shit like that.
no, man. Who's gonna be the guardian
That's
ladies?
embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
But
I'll kill you.
That's real embarrassing.
I'll kill you.
God, I cannot have you guys continue to do this for hours. So these guys decided that they were going to talk in this odd way.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
And they did it when we got back from a tournament and just decided they were going to do it for, I don't know, 3 hours or so.
Well, long story short, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to go into details.
What is the story?
No, I'm not going to get into it.
No, I was saying, you're not going to do any of that. I'll cut your volume off.
Yeah, we don't have to do any of that.
We're not going to do a top story where no names are named, and then you go, okay, well, this is the guy's name, his address, his telephone number.
Yo, Brad, you remember that one podcast? Listen, I'm not going to say anything bad, and I'm not going to...
Hold on, let me take a hit of the thing. All right, but...
Anyway, like I was saying... No. To answer the question, because we're horrible at this shit.
Do we have questions that need to be answered?
We do, apparently. And I've got a great one for this, because I actually like this.
One thick coat. It's a pretty good team.
He's new. He wants to know the difference between big demon list and demon infantry list as a new player looking to jump in competitive. All right. I got that one. I got you, Kyle, wherever you are. Thanks,
He's in
Lyle,
North
for the
Carolina.
answer. I will further acknowledge the trauma of my game against TJ. Yeah, no worries, Lyle. I got you, bro. Anytime you want to not remember that, I will make you remember it. So, Kyle has been trying to ask questions in the meta Discord, but he's new. He wants to know the difference between. So big demon lists are your Monster Mash. They are fun lists. They do well, but they have a fundamental problem, and that is that you just are going to have bad matchups. There are just matchups that your skill, as it were, is just not going to go the distance. Because you only have a limited number of tricks. That's just how it is, right? Like, if someone shoots your Be'lakor on turn 1 and he dies, like, no amount of, like, I hit him properly, or, like, I gave him the good minuses, or, like, he's in a forest. None of that shit matters if he just dies, right? Like, none of your saves, none of that stuff works. So, it's a fun list to play. Demons are fun in general to play, but there are definitely some fundamental issues with that particular type of build.
You need bros, dude. You need bros.
And then your infantry list is the exact opposite. You play like 1 or 2 big guys. The rest of the list is designed to do one thing. And I talk about this a lot in my Facebook page. But you have to use things differently than you're used to. Like, letters in the previous editions were like, I'm going to send these letters and they're going to murder whatever. That doesn't happen anymore because things are super durable. So you need to, like, these guys, these units, demonettes, bloodletters, they're there for just shitty infantry killing and stealing your opponent's objectives. That's it. I have a hierarchy. So how the hierarchy works is your light infantry kills their chaff and their shitty units. Then your elite infantry is designed to deal with your mobility problems. Those are your flamers, and I think there's another choice that you can take in the demon list that's fast mobile. Flamers, right? So flamers, and then after that is your big boys, and their job is to deal with all of your opponent's elite units, their terminators, their characters, all their special shit. So that's how the hierarchy works. Your demonettes, your bloodletters, they're designed to just run in, kill something that's like 100 points and not scary at all.
Bro,
because
demonettes kill, punch up, baby. Woo!
Yeah, they punch up and then they die immediately. So it's very important that you get the kill early on with your letters. They'll come in, they seal an objective, they kill one of your backfield opponent's units, and now your opponent's like, shit, I can kill those guys, but I have to go back the other way, or I can leave them alone and then they might just get another charge. So now I have to send something back there to do stuff. So it's all about, demons is all about pushing and pulling your opponent into different directions. Because if you try to fight your opponent straight on, I will just tell you, the durability in demons is just not there. We don't have it.
4-ups are 4-ups, man. And the thing is you fail them half the time. You can't get into a dice rolling game with that. Right. And the thing is that you don't have to kill all your opponent's shit. Sorry, Tom. Unless you're Tom. But you just have to score more points. And scoring more points a lot of times is just pinning them into their deployment zone and just taking their objectives away from you. If you're getting 8s, your opponent's getting 4s, well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very important that you pull your opponent into different corners, because a lot of armies can't do that, right? When you think of the top armies like Tyranids, Tau, Eldar, Chaos Space Marines, if you pull in a corner that they had one unit that was holding an objective somewhere that they were not expecting you to be there, that side's done. They're going to leave it the fuck alone unless they have something that's deep striking in that turn. Like CSM, if you fly on turn 2, you deep strike in, you kill the Raptors. They were on their objective that's not their home objective, but it's on their side of the table.
Neutral zone.
It's yours. Yep, your neutral zone, it's yours. You own it.
Talking about the same game here, because you're talking about like can't kill this, can't kill that.
Those are Raptors, bro. You just
kill it all, man.
You punt.
I don't understand the philosophy we have here. I'm starting to see why you don't win a lot of games, TJ.
It's true, dude. I actually don't. I don't. I'm here to be your defender for the weekend, guys. I'm
starting to see where your the thought process is wrong.
Anyway, so that's how it works. That's how the demon army is supposed to function, which is good. I like that. It's got like a GSC type feel to it with some power behind it. Be'lakor, that Thirster, those things are really cool. They're good units to play. Flamers. And then you have some other like good units that do very well as well. Flamers. And then that's kind of how the army plays, So that's what I would do. I would definitely recommend more infantry based, and so
100%,
good, Brad.
Oh God.
So Brad, by the way, I'm gonna have a ticket for Du Bois for you this week.
Yes.
And I'm painting up stuff you're gonna be playing.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. I'm so wrecked.
Gotta learn how to play fucking Tyranids, bro.
I'm on it.
At least I did not say Flamers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Play 27 Warrior Tyranids.
Leviathan, specifically Leviathan Warriors and nothing else.
Nah, they're just gonna be. Those aren't Warriors. He's painting. He's painting Tyrant Guard.
Behemoth. You will so be playing Behemoth.
He's playing triple Tyrant Guard. He's playing the most Tyrant Guards you can take on the table of Behemoth.
I think it should be 27 Warriors, 12 Tyrant Guard, and 3 Maleceptors.
Just do everything that get hit by the nerf. I do want Zoes. Can I have Zoes?
Oh, you're
gonna get Zoes.
Zoes are awesome, dude.
Yeah. So
I think up plastic ones, so you don't have to play with metal ones.
Yes.
I think to get into the end of this, we should really cover. I think we should cover what meta armies you should expect to see with their composition. So let's just rattle off everyone's top 5, and then we can briefly talk about what builds you think you're going to see in those top 5. So Ogden, you can go first. Top 5 armies. If you had to make a team list, what kind of construction composition would you want to see if it was your team?
Let's caveat this. You have the perfect player for every single one of these armies. So just take that out of it.
That makes
100%.
Tau,
Bold
Harlequins,
choice. Yeah, bold.
Tyranids, Necrons. Perfect player. Knights.
Really?
Yep.
You love going all in on stuff that could go shitty, but
Yeah, did you listen to those picks? It was like, hi, this is super aggressive. Oh, this is even more aggressive than that army. Next army, this army
wait,
lives
I
on
want to
being
replace
aggressive.
Knights with Blood Angels, please.
That's fine. Yeah, you got that too. Down.
No,
All right,
I'll keep the
so
Knights.
now
I'll
I
keep
just
the Knights.
need briefly the composition with that army that you'd like to see. Is it character spam? Is it all suit spam? Just tell me briefly what is in that list. Even though I already know the answer.
Tau is just kill stuff.
Okay, great. What a
Tom-
composition.
Tom Tao, TT.
Yeah, TT.
Tom Tau.
Tom Tau.
Tom Fucini Tau.
Okay.
Nids. I like Kraken. I think there's a lot of armies that struggle against it a lot.
It's so
Okay.
fast.
Try to put them in there. Knights. I
Okay.
like because they're super durable. I'd run big
What?
knights.
Which I was just about to say. Which
So
which
three
type
big
is?
knights and some small knights.
It's a gatekeeper army still. It does really well against certain armies. Not a lot of people bring the tools to go against it. and do well.
Calculated targeting still just holy shit still. So
I would take Imperial Knights or Chaos Knights, whatever we have best at us. I just want the gatekeeper. I want an army that can go on there and just causes I like it because it causes a problem with potential matchups. Do
Yeah.
I think it's the best fifth army? Absolutely not. But do I think it has the possibility of causing more mismatchups and people are like, oh shit, now we didn't expect to play this, like, yeah, 100%.
Okay. And then
Krons, I want
yeah,
MSU
Krons.
scoring. I don't want double C10. I want MSU scoring.
ooh,
I like their potential of going into a list that no one wants to play and still making it to like a 5 to 15 loss just because they score a shit ton of points.
okay.
Um,
All right.
And then Harlequins, just because if you don't know what you're doing against Harlequins, you just lose. If the players who play them is really good.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Now let's go directly to Horton. Horton, you're on the air.
you're on the clock.
Tyranids, Tau, Blood Angels. Truthfully, Chaos Demons, mixed Chaos probably. And are we playing with today's meta?
Yes, because it's this weekend, so we're playing right what we got right now.
All right, so I technically Votan.
Okay. Yeah, Voltan. That's definitely a strong choice.
Hold up a minute. Is Votan in the conversation?
But it's not in
Yeah.
the conversation for week because you can't have Zerkers and stuff yet.
Well,
That's
they're
my
legal.
question. Are
The
we
book's
talking?
legal, right?
Are we talking
The book's
about
legal. The
whole
models
codex
don't
legal?
exist yet.
The
Is the whole
models
legal.
come out
codex
on
legal?
Saturday, so therefore they'd be fine.
Yeah, they'd be legal. They will most definitely be. Okay, let's
So
just
leave the
leave
Votan overnights then, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's fine. So Voltan
That is
overnights, great. Brad, you're next.
I changed my thing. Leave
Oh,
the
sorry.
Votan-
Horton, I'd like to hear some compositions with your army choices, sir.
So, Tyranids, I still think Kraken or Behemoth are the two strong armies in that, with Leviathan taking its nerf. Ogden's version of Tau, I still think, is the strongest. I think your Chaos build that you currently are playing has some matchup problems for people.
Yeah, Manny's list.
No.
I love that you keep grabbing that. The Chima.
Harlequins because they're just dumb.
I'm going to say that all weekend too.
And
You have no idea.
Votan pose a problem because people don't know how to play against them yet. Number one. Number
I'm a
two,
big
they're
fan.
still really strong.
I'm a big fan of yours. I told you, I'm a big fan.
I think in the current meta, Demons has a lot of Apex Predators. I think Leagues fuck it up, Tau fuck it up, AdMech fuck it up. No one's talking about AdMech at all right now. I think AdMech's
Yeah. If I had my AdMech together, I would definitely be playing AdMech. But there is a fine line for AdMech right now where if I was to start building and putting together AdMech, if fucking Dark Mechanicus comes out and it's literally the same shit, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
I'll be
They're
so
like, wow,
happy that you spent all that time.
$6,000 on AdMech? Cool. Now Dark Mechanicus? All right. Next is Tom. Tom, what do we got, man? Tell me. Oh,
Here-
sorry. Now we just got something
like-
with man. at the
I was
end.
just about to say, if no Brad, just Tom twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
you
I
wanna
like-
change his answers.
I'm
yeah.
loving this actually. This is great.
I'm gonna go with Quins,
Okay.
Tyranids, Tau.
Okay.
And then it becomes a mix because I'm really torn because demons, and maybe I think after I got Pinky the Dreadnought out, demons do have in teams some really bad. They have bad matchups, but they also have some terrible matches for your opponents. So I was debating on whether I want that. And then if we have the full line of Votann, I'm going to bring 18 bikes, Zerkers, and troops, and that's it. And I'm just going to slam the board, and I'm going to go either Ymir or Grand Therian because that army's gross.
Yep. My question, though, is you're looking at 3 of the armies that we're saying in everyone's list.
Sure.
Votann,
They're just good.
Harlequins, Tau.
Yep.
That means there's 3 horrible matchups for demons.
Yeah. I mean,
I was debating on it. If I was in my original when I said I was thinking about demons. I wasn't thinking that they were going to be.
That's why you have to
an
have
option.
T-Suns, right? Because you need the secondaries. You need the secondary protection that that demons do not afford you.
Yeah.
Demons are like, I have to go forward and do shit, and my durability is either going to live and die on these 4+. T-Suns are like, I'm going to stand behind a wall. Demons are going to come in and help out a little bit. I'm just going to score like 40 on the bottom and call it a day. How about that? So
the thing is, I think demons is a very fine option for singles tournaments, but we're talking about every round as demons. You have over a 60% chance of playing one of your 3 horrible matches.
I don't think some of the matches are horrible though. Out there.
I mean, we
You
have to
can't shit on
do
them.
as long as we can
I'll
do
shit
what
on
Brad did. As long as you can do what Brad did at Vegas. You just do what Brad did at Vegas. You walk up to the table, you say, guys, I can only play these 2 armies. Help me, please. And then we have to pair him doing 20 somersaults to get him to play one of the 2 armies.
Yeah, you know how I am. Jesus
Our
Christ.
fourth round, Brad's like, I gotta have this match. We get him the match. It only costs the other 4 players to have
You were
the match
such
they shouldn't be
full
playing.
of shit liars. I hate both of you.
Listen,
Bro,
I own a double C10 Necrons.
Bro, I almost got fucking...
T-Suns and the Orcs. Demons in the guard.
I took no matchups. There was
Hold
no.
on a minute. Let's repeat this. Town and double C10, right?
Still win that. Continue.
Orcs into I'm sorry, Thousand Sons and Orcs.
That was so
Orc
bad.
matchup.
That's just because orcs are OP, bro. No one could have beat that.
And then Necrons
Demons
to
literally
Mortal
roll
Wounds.
guard. We'll never agree on this. See, you shouldn't bring this up. This is
the
one that you
Mortal
shouldn't go
Wounds
into because we don't agree on this at all. So all the things you're
Alright,
saying, I'm just like, I don't agree.
anyway, yeah, now I'm gonna go because I'm last. You need some form of chaos. I think you could, if we're talking about best players, I think you could definitely get away with playing.
Is Manny Chima available for this event for our fantasy team?
That is the best player, so he's already on the
Thousand
list.
Sons.
I didn't even.
I
Yeah.
changed my list. Thousand Sons, Manny Chima.
Okay, sorry. Well, he's taking demons though on top of it, so that's you
On
gotta
top
take
of
the
it?
demons.
Yeah.
So I think CSM you could get away with it depending on what and this is important to note, something that the other 3 people in this chat haven't talked about. Your list for the composition is all incumbent on what everyone else is playing, right? Like if I say to you, you know, if Ogden's going to run Smash Face, TT, fucking whatever, tabling Tau, that's that. Thomas tabling Tau, that's TTT. He's doing it down the lane.
So much
all
alliteration,
day.
dude.
Yeah, so if that's happening, and then Brad's list is like, I'm going to play Harlequins, I'm going to play an aggressive list. Now, we already have 2 aggressors. Now, we're already at 2. Then we get our standard, you know, Necron list, right? So that's kind of like Defender, quasi-Defender. I'm going to throw this out against bad. You know, you throw it out against their worst matchup, they're going to score like an 80. It is what it is, right? They have some good pairings, but for the most part, Tau just score well against everybody, and they can take the bad matchups for us. Then you've got your Sisters, which everybody likes to think that Sisters are aggressive, and they're the aggressive army because they play in a format in singles, which is what you're used to seeing, and they play aggressively. However, Sisters in a team format are not aggressive. They are the defender because their worst. They do not do well against skew armies that are not designed to play in singles. Like triple Satan for Necrons. Sisters are like, what the fuck is that? That doesn't win against anything, but it annihilates Sisters. They're just going to stand behind a wall and just blow you the fuck up with mortal wounds. So, like, they're just not used to things like that, so they struggle.
Names,
yeah.
but at the Vegas team tournament,
Yeah.
The winning team did have a player who's like, man, I can't play against that.
Okay. All right. Anyway, god damn it, man. So you have to be very. So now we got the Necron list. We got the Sisters list. We got double defender basically. So now you could kind of, when you're picking their 5th list or your 4th list, you kind of have to look at what your comp looks like. So we've got like 2 quasi defender armies already. So you need something that can play on the aggressive side. You need something that's going to play aggressively. So you could even make the argument for playing CSM, Emperor's Children, would be good. You could play Creations of Bile. That would be good too.
Besides Tyranids, I think it's really important that you have armies that have good secondaries.
Yeah, which are Necrons and Sisters, right? Those are why they function as defenders.
Yeah.
They score 70 even when they're losing. So the best your opponent can score would be like a 14-6. Okay. I'm not going to come over to the table and you and be like, what happened? You'd be like, I got a 0. It shouldn't happen when you're playing Necrons and Sisters. You should be able to score 65, 70 with Sisters. And then Necrons are even higher than that. They're like 75, 80 is what you score almost every game. So, I would go with, Thousand Suns and Demons because of how good the secondary play is. But you could definitely make the argument for Emperor's Children and Creations of Bile. The only other army I would say might go in there would be something that no one else mentioned, would be Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights are in a very good aggressive spot. You can really hone in on not having them pair into their bad matchups, and they fuck pairings up because like 11 knights running around that are just like, how the fuck? If they get paired into something that's an unfavorable matchup, they just fucking steamroll it. So that's probably another army that I would say I would definitely put in there. But it would probably be Chaos as the last spot. Sisters would probably not be my choices. It would obviously be Voltan. Necron definitely make it in there. So mine would be Tau, Necrons, Harleys.
Does Kron still make it in with those other armies though? Because Votann can put out a huge amount of damage on Necrons. Tau can put out a huge amount of damage on Necrons. And I actually think that the Tyranid armies are favored into Necrons also because they can push the table so fast. And
I don't think I'm worried about it. Honestly, the reason why I don't think I'm worried about it with Necrons in that perspective is that I'm going to score the 80. I'm going to lose. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's a bad pairing. But if I can take that bad pairing away from somebody else, I think their secondaries outweigh any issues that they might come into. So that's what I think.
Okay, we're getting towards the end of the show. We have to do a couple plugs here.
All right, let's do it.
So we have the team tournament coming up. So I'm excited for you guys to give a recap from us on team tournament. But on the 12th, we have our first session of all the coaches together, and we kind of got like a triple whammy for everyone. On that day, we will be in Pittsburgh. We'll be in Pittsburgh, streaming at Nice Equipment, doing LVO prep with our armies. So playing our actual armies, testing them out, theory crafting, and getting them going, while fitting in our free monthly class for November for our patrons, which was voted on by our patrons. It is the Demons Master class, which will have me, Brad, and our chaos expert TJ himself going over that. And we are going to have the coaching session with all of us, which will be about tournament prep and player place terrain. So we'll have a whole class talking about how you should prepare for a tournament, list ideologies, basically like getting a
If you're there that weekend, come hang out. We're going to be at Dom's shop, Fabricators Forge. For everyone who hasn't been there before, it's quite fantastic. He has an event actually running that weekend. If you want to hang out, maybe watch a couple games and then playing some stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a 30K event that weekend, which is pretty fun. I think it's a charity event for 30K, which is cool. And then we'll just be downstairs running the streams, guys. So we'll definitely have more than one table set up. We will be. Whoever's not on that table will be on the other table, and we're just going to be trying to hit as many games as possible because we are pretty much at the meta that we're probably going to see for LVO with maybe one or two slight iterations. So anyway,
we're good. We just had a quick blip.
And then we got, last but certainly not least, Brian, take us home,
Apparently
man.
we lost audio and video, Brad, so we might have to repeat that.
Oh, man.
Wow, did we you guys hear about the 12th or no?
I was just like, Tom was talking for too long. I was just like, no way.
I'm done. We're done.
So
we don't want it
just
anymore.
in case, because apparently Brad cut off our audio and video for 30 seconds, according to Lyle. On the 12th.
Oh, you started.
Okay, cool. So on the 12th, for our Patreon guys, we have a triple whammy coming through here. Which means all day long you're gonna see all the coaches prepping. So like TJ says, it is the meta. This is the meta we're gonna see at LVO. Might be shaken up a little bit by guard, but we are taking our prospective armies that we're gonna be playing for LVO, playing them and theory crafting against each other all day long. And in the middle of it, we have our November masterclass, which was voted by our patrons to be demons. So you got me, Brad, and our chaos expert TJ himself going over demons, their bad matchups, how to play them, things like that. Also taking questions through it. So our masterclass is very interactive. We have things we prepare for it, but we also field a ton of questions and try to make them customized to those who are attending. And then we have our first class with all the coaches available, which will be about player place terrain and tournament prep. So you'll see how to do mental preparation, how to do list ideologies. Like I said a few moments ago, it's about player place terrain as well. It's a totally different game. I had some of this, like for some people in our Tau Masterclass, and they were mind blown about why I deployed things on the Tau way. And we have probably Brad, who's probably one of the best experts in all factions. Like his general knowledge 40K is pretty insane. We have a lot packed in. We did have to reschedule that class from this month due to some scheduling conflicts on the coaches. So that's why we kind of threw the player placed train in there for free to try and make up for you guys having to wait for that. But got a lot of cool things come up on the 12th all day long. So you can watch us practice, theorycraft, interact. If you're actually a part of the crew and you're near Pittsburgh, come hang out with us. We invite you guys to come and hang out. Me and Brad will be leaving our area. Brad lives about 40 minutes out to me. It's about a 3-hour drive. So we'll be out there.
That's actually about the same for me too. It's about 2.5 hours. So, but yeah, if you're out there and you want to get a game in, we're going to be doing stuff. You guys want to see, how we play these games, how we're going to be, how you do practice, because that's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of different conversations going on with, how you play test. Do you play the first turn? Do you play the first 3 turns? Do you play until you fuck up? Do you play the entire game in its entirety? So there's a whole bunch of different ways that people play. You're going to see some of that on the 12th. So
all of the above, my friends.
So in person over YouTube, it's going to be good. Yeah. And then
let's bring it on home, Mr. Horton. Tell us what's up at the end of the month, please. And it's not Thanksgiving.
Of course, Du Bois GT is upcoming, and Brad will be playing Tyranids because he said if I could get him a ticket, he'd play an army I put together for him. So
this is true.
It's true.
It'll still be a very good army. It'll still be fun. He may be drinking a lot while playing it, though. And not that that's anything new. But on top of that, if you're in central New York, for those of you who are up in the upstate area, this Saturday we have our local RTT at the art store. But a very fun thing that I'm actually going to announce here, and these 3 guys don't even know about it yet. The store just bought a streaming rig. They just ordered it with 4 cameras, so that's supposed to be in right after the first of the year. So I'll be having a nice little streaming area with dedicated
my language
for streaming. So it's gonna be good fun.
You're talking about a New York trip for us to come out and stream one day. All right.
Nice.
And what is the actual date for everyone for Du Bois?
It's the 3rd weekend in November.
Yeah, if you don't have a ticket, you're gonna have to suck Brian's toes just to get one. Sorry guys, they're kind of sold out. So
yeah, they are sold out for both AOS and 40K. We do have some openings we just were able to add a few more tables for the teams event, which is a doubles event, not a traditional multiplayer teams event. It'll just 2-on-2 kind of fun stuff.
How many people's playing at Du Bois?
We've got 90 for both 40K and AOS.
Nice. Okay. All right, guys.
I have never got to attend Du Bois yet, but I will tell you from my early days of tournament, it's one of the granddaddies. It's been around for a long time.
It has.
Its reputation.
When did it start, actually?
2004.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It was either 4 or 5. We were having
Yeah.
this debate the other day because it went from being Du Bois. It went from being at a con to being a separate thing at one point. So I'm not exactly sure.
You remember when it was at the resort?
This is the
Oh,
best.
The fucking resort, man.
So
That
good,
was-
dude.
that was-
we've been looking at different venues because we've outgrown the venue we're at by far.
Yeah.
And we looked at 2 different casinos in the last month, and we're going to look at apparently an arena.
Hell yeah, dude.
Ooh.
All right. Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Well,
very good.
thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It is Halloween, so if you haven't stolen candy from some child walking down the street, make sure you do your due diligence. I mean, come on now. And yeah, everybody enjoy your
Everyone?
evenings.
Deuces.